we have truckers that park out front and just like stay there overnight and just like hang massive like diarrhea loads out their door
On a regular basis?
Oh yeah, guy.
I would put a sign up.
Listen, we got signs, boys.
Oh, boy.
It's not cow milk. I don't even know what that was. That
I don't even know either.
fair enough.
It's not my chicken, it's not my milk, boys.
Not my milk. I guess.
Milking chickens?
Milking chickens? No, chickens don't give milk. Do they? No.
They
don't.
buy it.
No,
they buy
don't.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they buy it. But from the store.
From the store.
Wait, hold on. So, do like baby chickens just eat like the same thing that normal chickens eat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty
Well,
developed digestive system at that point. No.
Yeah, well, think about baby birds. Basically, the parents just come back, like eat whatever they do, and then just like throw it up.
Vomit.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
the same. It's the same process.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ducks.
Disgusting.
Do ducks have ducks have nests? Yeah, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not
Ducks live in burrows.
I didn't know if they just like. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. There has to be some type of shelter. I just never. I never really took the time to think of
It's a nest.
how ducks. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Ducks have nests. We should know more about ducks, considering it became our logo.
And considering we have friends who own ducks.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna become a duckyologist.
Duckyologist.
There you go.
Knowing how to duck everyone, cut them all off.
What was the
Professional ducker.
swerving?
Swerve,
Yeah,
yep,
I'm gonna
yep.
swerve all these people.
Yep.
That term kind of came in and out of
Meh,
use very
swerve.
quickly. Swerve.
Yeah.
Got swerve.
Swerve was quick. There's a lot of trends that I thought they would stick for a while.
Yeet stuck for a long
I don't
time.
think I lived
did
through
swerve.
Swerve. Like I don't.
Yeah, you
I
did.
don't my,
What
but
do
yeah,
you
but
mean
my
lived
life like
through?
like I never used that or anything.
Well, I think
never
it
heard-
was, yeah.
It wasn't culturally relevant to me.
fair.
Yeah, it never got that big, yes. But like, you never heard anyone use it, like in just conversation? No?
Swerve is when when you're like talking to somebody like somebody's talking to you and they're interested in you and you kind of like blow them off, like that's swerving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never like. It wasn't a term that was like relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I never heard it in conversation. Like, and I just swerved them.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
I don't think
I swerved at a deer the other day. Like,
That's the same thing?
Yes, actually it is. Yes, Jeffrey, that is the correct context of the word swerve.
Yeah. Oh, that was gold.
We're going to start the podcast every day with like a cultural word and then like try to remember what it means.
hey, you know how funny that would actually be? Be like, hey, so the word of the day today is, and we'll just Urban Dictionary something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that will go well.
Yes, that's going to be a great. Everyone's excited.
Yeah.
Today's
vocab.
day. Swerve.
Yes. That'd be a funny like audio clip.
That would be.
If there's if we had like a producer here, like the producer could pick like a random word, almost like you guys see Pee-wee's Playhouse growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
So watching Pee-wee Herman, like there would always be like a secret word, and if somebody like in the show like said the word, the whole room would just be like, it's like what? You said the.
Good job.
It's such a strange show, not going to lie.
Most shows are strange.
Especially when you grow up and you look back at it, it's like.
I attribute all my delinquency to Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
You hear that producer who's listening to this show who worked on Pee-wee's Playhouse is your fault.
Oh, man.
All right, boys, what are we doing?
Okay, so wait, let me pull up the exact wording of this because I think I wrote this. Leadership doesn't happen by accident. You can be thrust into a position that you aren't prepared for, but longevity comes only through preparation and experience.
I don't think I'm prepared for this show.
Okay.
Let's do it, boys.
Absolutely. Just fake it till you make it. No, but I think the thought that this came to mind was the idea that it's like, I heard there's a rule, I forget the name of the rule, but it's like people get promoted all the way up until they get promoted into a job they can't do. Like people just progressively go higher and higher until they just can't do the job. And that kind of interested me because it's like most people who get a job don't know what they're doing because it's a job you've never done before usually, and then you just figure it out.
Yeah.
But we're so afraid of getting used to things that we don't know about that we don't think about the context of like that's how most people do their job. They just figure it out.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people are afraid of what they don't know. And I mean, there's been a handful of times where I got a promotion and I ended up in a position where like there was, I hate to say minimal training, but there was minimal training. And, you just kind of have to figure out, based on situations that happen every day, and you kind of just eventually get good at what you do. There's a couple of different ways to talk about this. There's definitely like management should probably do better at training, but there are situations where you get promoted into something, or like you get forced into doing something that's beyond you, like jumping out of a plane. You're never really ready to jump out of a plane, but jumping out of a plane is like something you just have to do. You can't really mentally prepare unless you go on like roller coaster rides for like 3 weeks straight before it.
I don't think that helps.
Or you could just keep jumping out of planes. I mean, eventually.
But if, I'm saying the first time,
absolutely.
I'm gonna prepare to jump out of a plane by jumping out of 12 planes.
Yeah, fair.
Get on a plane on like the tarmac, like it doesn't take off or anything. You just jump out the door. That 3-foot drop was, oh god,
that would be a fun skit. But the example that I just thought of right now is the idea of like children. A lot of people aren't.
That's a good one.
So there's two ways you could do. Well, observation wise, there's two. There seems to be two ways.
Conversations.
Yeah, there seems to be two ways you could take care of like children, where it's like you aren't expecting a kid, now you got a kid. You can either just like not deal with it and just like kind of just like gloss over it and just live your normal life like you were anyway and just have a kid there.
Not my kid, not my milk.
Exactly.
That's an
basically.
option, yeah.
Or you learn how to take care of a kid and you do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what that topic is in a nutshell.
Don't look at me. I'll derail this conversation real quick.
Oh, okay.
All right, fair enough. But no, I think it's a great example, much better than mine. But no, absolutely, it's one of those things where you're never really prepared to be a parent. At least I don't think you are. You could always want a kid, but to actually become a parent, I don't think anyone could really be ready for that. Or like you've been born to be this leader. You just kind of prepare for it. And do the best you can when you actually have the responsibility at your front doorstep, and like you just do the best with situations that come your way and make the best decisions that you think are the best decisions, and that's all you can really do. And that goes for like a job, that goes for pretty much anything. I think, as far as like being underqualified, I guess, for a position.
Mm-hmm. Or even, I mean, you could talk about underqualified or underprepared, undertrained. Sometimes the best way to empower somebody is to bring them up into a position that they don't deserve, or maybe they didn't merit at the very least. It's like, here, I'm just going to put you here and see what happens.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will rise up to the occasion. I mean, look at somebody like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a backup quarterback for a while, and then Drew Bledsoe just got hurt one day, and Tom Brady just was like, okay, well, here we go. Now this is what you've kind of been ready for. You've never really actually probably played like a real game, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And that's kind of...
And then 10 years later and like 5 championships or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
7 Super Bowls,
yeah.
6 rings.
Yeah. That's,
or 8 Super Bowls.
I don't know.
6 rings.
A lot.
This is out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is mine too, because I don't really. I'm not into sports, but still, that's the perfect example. It's like he was just put in that position. He was given that, and he capitalized on it. And a lot of people will flourish if we just give them a chance. A lot of times we see that, especially with like leadership a lot. Like a lot of people, you'll have to like really go through all the workshops and all the training and everything, and you put somebody into the position, and just because they went through the classes, that means they're qualified when they're really not qualified. And sometimes you can just throw somebody who you got some good work ethic. Here you go, kid. Let's see how you hold on to this, and it's like that person could either blossom or fail horribly.
I also think that there's the opposite of this too, which is interesting, and they work together in this way where it's like there are some people who just do stuff and then figure out if it works, and then there are people who will not take a step until they're certain that they're capable of doing that thing.
Yeah.
And because I
think it's dangerous.
Yeah, this could be because I'm the opposite type of person. I think that limits you to what you can achieve. Because if like
slows you down.
if you, yeah, it does. It does. It's like if you,
I'm glad I'm in good company right now. I knew I hung out with you guys for a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
Absolutely. Because like to me, it's all like if I know I can achieve X, why should I not push for Y? And the worst case scenario, I'm gonna get X.
Yeah, right.
But there are some people who say, I know I can achieve X.
I'm only shooting for
I'm
X.
only going to apply to things that I can achieve.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I guess I mean your success rate. It's like that the example of like the surgeon who only does surgeries that they know how to do.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're really good at this one thing, but you're never gonna be.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want my surgery to take that leap of faith on me,
to,
but
You have to expand your horizons.
yeah, just like I've never done open heart surgery today.
They're not gonna start on you.
Yes. Well, you would hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see now that comes down. You're talking about parenting and anything. There's like two philosophies, I guess. Like you see a lot of parents teach kids to swim. Like I was taught how to swim. You know how it was. You play in the water a little bit, and then it's just like, oh, yeet.
Yeah,
somebody just eats you one day, and it's like, and you just watch him from afar. It's like, is he living?
Yeah.
Is he dead? No. Hey, he's still alive. Like, but a lot of times, like that's or riding a bike too.
Yeah.
Honestly, like all the training wheel practice that I ever had on a bike or anything, and then like like people helping me didn't help me. You want to know what helped me? I wasn't supposed to get on my bike. I was not. I was like, I want to go ride the bike, and I'm gonna ride it without training wheels. So I go and I got on the bike and I just sent it, and nobody around, nobody tried to coach me, which. Yet again, I didn't ask permission to go ride my bike, so Mom, forgive me, please. For like 7-year-old me, I'm sorry, but that you know what? That's what worked.
Yeah,
that's what worked. And then like I remember the sidewalk was like super bumpy too. It was almost impossible to be able to try to ride a bike without training wheels. That's the other rule that I broke too. I ended up like going off the curb and I like rode into the road. But once I got onto the smooth road, it was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're in trouble, but good job, buddy. But it was legit. But that's legit, and that's the same with this like promotion without any qualification. Sometimes you gotta really throw somebody into the water to see if they can swim.
Yeah.
And I think that like we see all these you see these people who are. That's a lot of like success stories is based off of this concept of like, okay, there was nobody else that we knew could do this job, so this random guy got sent into this project without knowing anything, and
good
he
luck.
ended up doing.
You're underqualified until you're the most qualified person there to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're the running man up. And if you're not ready, I mean, if you haven't prepared, that's all you could do is prepare,
or at least just give your best try.
Yeah.
I.e. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And he,
But like there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. I was about to drink my coffee, but I stopped. There's a lot of the preparation that goes into that. It's not just like, oh, I just I don't really focus in on this, and it's not really my passion. No, like you love it so much that you practice it all the time, so that when the opportunity does finally open up, you're about as like ready as you possibly can be. And then there's like that's a little bit different than what we're talking about, because we're talking about like just getting thrown into something. But the more preparation that you have, the easier it'll be for you to be the qualified person running up.
Can I hijack this?
Yeah,
so
sure.
like you're saying, as you throw somebody into that too, there's we can bring, like, as you were talking about that, I kind of was getting like this music vibe about it. You can practice in your private space all you want, but until you get thrown into a live element, there's things that you can't prepare for.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you need some grace to be able to fail a little bit or to be a little wonky, because there's just a completely different atmosphere about going about and actually doing the real thing versus like practicing in private. And the microphone, that's another thing too. A lot of people miss, just like tip to musicians, the microphone doesn't lie.
Sure doesn't.
That's number one. So if you record your practices and you're like, oh wow, that sounded really good, and then you go back onto the microphone and you'll be like, that's not as good as I thought it was. And
really
like you really, like, I don't know why, but your brain will like trick yourself to thinking that you're like better than you are. And that's a funny thing.
No, absolutely. And there's certain things that you only learn in the field. So I was speaking with a civil engineer one time, and I was like, okay, so what's the biggest mistake that civil engineers make? And he's all like, they design only based off of physics and only based off of the rules. He's all like, I cannot count how many times there's been people who have put a bolt 6 feet down a hole that's 3 inches wide.
Y equals
It's
mx
like-
plus b.
Exactly. They only follow the rules.
Yeah.
And it's all like, how are you going to go tighten that bolt? Or how are you going to untie? It's all like, how are you going to get down there? And it's like, oh, I didn't really think about that. And it's like, yeah, because you've never done this
Yeah.
legitimately. It's like
Yeah,
it
fair
might
enough.
be legit, it might work, it might stand up, but how are you going to put it together?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
The engineer makes it so you can't tighten the bolt, but you have Juan who's been building building sheds for 20 years. Hey, pa, I'll show you how to do this.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like you might know the concept, but until you're doing it legitimately, like you could have all the pieces of paper that you want. When you get into the work field and when you actually start doing things, it changes the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something to know. Like you're not going to know everything when you first start out. So don't be afraid of jumping into something even if you aren't quote unquote qualified.
And on that note, we'll be back.
We would like to thank Anchor for sponsoring and hosting the Life podcast. So who are Anchor and what do they do? Anchor is the all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to make and publish your podcast. And best of all, it's all free. Anchor allows you to use their creative tools to record and edit your podcast. No need for any fancy professional equipment. Sounds amazing, right? And we haven't even gotten to the best part. Anchor isn't just a recording and editing platform. They're a publisher too. This means that Anchor takes care of all of the hard stuff, like publishing to Apple and Google Podcasts, so you don't have to. So what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Another thanks to Anchor for hosting, publishing, and sponsoring the Life podcast. Can roll.
Well,
Slowly but surely. We keep rolling.
is it good? Is it working?
Yeah.
What's going over there?
It was a delay that messed in my head.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll still promote you into a place that maybe you don't deserve.
That's fine.
You make money anyway.
He's the most qualified person out there.
But the day that I go,
I am the most qualified. I am the most qualified button pusher in this room. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Eric does a lot more than push.
Yes. So we back, boys. We doing it. How did we end the last
You
segment?
wanted character. We ended the last segment saying like you only learn stuff when you actually are in the masa, you know.
Oh yeah,
When you're making the bread.
All right, so wash your hands, boys.
Yeah.
Eric was talking about a great point, and we were talking during the break. And being prepared for the thing that you're not prepared for. Skills can be learned at any point. You can teach a monkey how to use a stick to get bugs out of a hole.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. Yeah, and patience. I mean, you can teach dogs how to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If you just know what you're doing.
Yep.
But there's this little list here that's been circulating around the internet, which is super duper true, and we'll definitely.
I literally have a copy of this list like on my mirror in my room.
Yeah, we'll definitely pull it off.
Not like that.
You
That's
wrote
like
it yourself.
yeah. No, it was given to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like a magnet though, but I just stuck it on my mirror. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways,
Fun fact.
we were talking about preparing for the unpreparable.
Yep.
And there are 10 things here that take zero talent that you can prepare for that make all the difference in the moment when you actually get promoted to the place that you don't deserve.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of rip down the list and talk about these little points. Number 1 is being on time.
Mm-hmm.
Easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I'm glad that's number one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Takes no talent, right, to be on time. Is that what it is?
yeah.
No, yeah, zero talent to be on time, and it's probably the most important thing you can possibly do.
I want to play devil's advocate on that, and you know what? Actually, it takes kind of some skill to be on time because you need to be able to rightly order your priorities, especially how far away. Like you guys knew, like when I lived with my parents, how far away I lived from everything that we were doing and involved.
Yeah.
And I was always on time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact of I need to block out at least 30 minutes
Yeah.
to go anywhere. So you're like 30 minutes
Yeah.
ahead in your mind.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a skill or if that's just like discipline.
I
I
think
guess
it's
discipline could be a skill.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of
guess.
both.
Yeah.
My problem with this is like, we got like Jennifer over here, who's always 5 minutes late, and it's like, Jennifer, just leave your house 5 minutes earlier. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, you know, it's like,
Right, just show up.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Especially if you live 3 minutes down the block.
Jennifer came back and she just signed off again.
yeah. Jennifer has left the chat.
Whatever happened to Jenny?
Close enough. Jennifer.
I don't know who Jenny is either.
It's Jeff's wife.
Jeff's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, but legit being a
Both spelled with the G. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jennifer and Jeff with G's.
Geff.
That's a throwback.
But anyways, talking about it really doesn't take talent like that. It's a skill to be able to prioritize your life, but I mean, it's not like you don't have to be inept at doing it. You can easily attain being on time.
Yeah.
By just leaving your house earlier.
Yeah.
Ordering your priorities.
Yeah.
Number 2, having good work ethic.
Yeah, just do your job, man.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
Yeah. Or like the idea of like, it's not my job.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's exactly, yeah. Just do what you're asked.
yeah.
If your boss asks you to do something, that's not me, man. I don't. No, I mean, unless he's asking you to like do something completely. Like I've said no to some jobs. I've had someone ask me to pick up some human feces off the ground, and I said absolutely not.
Yeah, that's enough.
Dude, I've shoveled human feces off the front lawn of my job a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We have truckers that park out front and just like stay there overnight and just like hang massive like diarrhea loads out their door.
On a regular basis.
Oh yeah, guy.
I would put a sign up.
Listen, we got signs, boys.
Oh boy.
You still gotta pick it up. I pick up the dog and then I pick up the human.
Oh man, I don't.
That's a good. I feel like that's a good motto for life. It's like we got signs. You still gotta pick it up. That's a good point.
Fair enough.
That's a good point.
I guess that was my line, especially at that point in life. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, it takes some effort, you know. It takes some talent to be able to scoop up a turd in like one fell swoop. Too.
Yeah,
You gotta have some finesse.
Yeah, I guess it really depends how invested you are in the company and how like invested
Yeah.
you are as a person.
Yeah, you're much more invested into your company than I ever was into the company. I mean, I was
Well,
pretty invested into mine, but not that invested.
I'm gonna tell you, if I'm working at McDonald's, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But like if it's like, oh, like you're at like a law firm, I guess like you have a job you really care about, like okay, then yeah. But like there are levels to this.
Hey, listen, you're never too good to shovel the
bricks.
feces off
yeah.
off the front lawn.
Yeah,
Sweep the floor, shovel the stuff, and send it on home, guys.
Well, it was funny because, man, I just remember this entire story. I'm not gonna use any names, and I'm not gonna use any like company names or nothing. But so it's the company that I work for. If you know me, you already know what company that was. And I was working, and there was this older gentleman taking a stroll through the store. It was a retail store, and he was older, and I'm assuming he took too much medication, but he was defecating as he was walking and not realizing it.
Nice.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, so like there's a trail following him for a while. And then like my manager comes up to me and like he's like trying not to be like, you know, he's trying to ask me without directly asking me. And he's like, because they used to give out these awards that if you get 3 of them, you get paid X amount of dollars. So he like came up to me, he's like, I'll give you one of these awards. I was like, 1? I was like, you better be giving me 3 of them at least, so I can at least get like a guarantee. He's like, no, I can't do that. And I was,
get a trophy?
I was like, I was like, you gotta write one and just like put like the reason why I'm getting it because I'm picking this up. But no, I ended up saying no. I was like, either you're gonna have to do it. If you're not willing to do it, I'm not willing to do it. Is really why I came
That's
down to
a
on
fair
that.
point.
Yeah.
Like are you gonna help me? Like we're gonna do this as a team effort. Fair enough.
Nah,
Yeah, so
I don't know. I think that point's neither here nor there. That's not really.
No, that was a very personal story.
That's a very
so
specific
yeah,
example.
no, I went very specific because it happened.
Triggered the memory.
Yeah.
Anyway, so talking about the things to prepare for the unexpected, things that take zero talent to be able to perform, so that you can perform well in the day of whatever your promotion is.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was work ethic, which is coupled with number 3, which is effort. Actually trying. You should at least tempted to wipe some of that merde off the floor, guy.
Well, it's true. It's like there are people who will be like, okay, like the boss. I see people in different jobs that I work where it's like, okay, the boss says to do this thing, okay, and then you're just like, oh, I don't want to do the thing, and then like they just don't do it. Like they like do it, but it's not. It's like you took like 5 minutes, you just procrastinated this whole time, and you
Or I
just
did it
didn't
with
do
an attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that effort goes a long way. People recognize effort before they like that stands alone. Like if you actually show the effort, even if the job was done halfway, like not like perfect, a lot of that can be forgiven if the effort was there, because then it shows like, oh, this, like we said right before we started this list, it's like you can learn the skill. It's hard to learn the effort behind it. If you already have the effort, if you just show the effort, and that's really just a mindset. That's you actually just trying. But if you actually try, then like the patience to teach you will be heightened.
I mean, talking about it and like being around, obviously my parents being bosses of many employees and employing many people.
Yeah.
Just being around it. It's the fact of even if you don't know how to do the job, but like you try your best, even if it was like a train wreck of whatever you did, but you could tell like, man, this person tried. Like you tried to do it good.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I would happily take that every single day and I would sit down and teach you exactly what to do, because I know that when you actually know, you're gonna do a great job.
Yeah.
I don't care how fast you do something. If you're gonna do it sloppy, I would rather have somebody who took the extra 10, 15, 20 minutes to do it and it's done right, and I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes so far.
Yeah.
It goes so far.
That's legit. All right, number 4, body language. Keep your fingers to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Body language. That's kind of like talking about like attitude too. It's like somebody asks you to do something, you just roll your eyes and be like, "Oh, I don't want to do this."
Yeah, absolutely.
People remember that.
Yo, for real. Like,
Yeah.
Talking to customers, talking to your employer too. It's like you can say the nicest words, and if you just like slouch away and just like sit in your desk like.
That's why we talked about it at some point. But like actual face-to-face interactions are you get a lot more into it. Like it's a much more intimate conversation, because when you do it digital, you don't get the body language. But body language speaks so loudly. Yeah. The way you project yourself towards somebody, it's very subconscious for the most part. The other, if you sit there like they say, like if you sit there with your arms crossed, you're very defensive, blah blah blah. Like, it's true though.
You're not receiving nothing.
Yeah, and people subconsciously receive that, and because it's visual like that, it's much easier to remember, and they remember like every eye roll you've done, and now it's like all of a sudden they won't come to you with work, and now it's like they're kind of like, I'd rather not go talk to that person because they're gonna give me attitude. Yeah. And if that's what your goal is, congratulations. But what you really did is you just shut down a door, and that person that sees that is not gonna support you because they don't want you around. Yeah, that attitude is not positive.
The difference between actually going into that promoted place or into that new adventure is basically the eye roll. That could be the thing stopping you from the promised land.
Absolutely.
We got 4 minutes, and I want to get through as much of this list as we can so that we can get into practical life application. Number 5 is energy. Okay.
Yeah, just be positive. Just like, even if you don't want to do it, you can force yourself to be like an energetic person. It's like, do I want to wake up?
Sleep. Just get some sleep, guys.
Yeah.
You can't go out drinking all night and then wake up in the
more coffee.
Yeah,
coffee.
Yeah, fair enough. But
that's true. It is true. It's like, but there's a choice with energy. There's a choice. It's like, for this show, do I physically want to wake up and do this show? I want to do the show. I don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
But that's required for this show, and it's like you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. And it's like if we're sitting on here and we're like, "Welcome to the Life Podcast," like it's like that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help the people who are listening. It's like you gotta be in it.
Yeah. Honestly, as a plus, this is a kick in the pants to be able to actually do it too, because you have you have a prompt too. It's like, well, you kind of have to, or else whatever you make. I mean, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But like, our product's gonna suffer.
Yeah.
This podcast is gonna suck. And we've had some episodes too where it's like, man, we were tired.
Right.
No, that was low energy. That was not good.
Absolutely. So energy is completely controllable. It literally just I think that's prior decisions. You know what I mean? Like to have the energy for work, like don't go out drinking the night before. Don't go out clubbing if it's like a Wednesday.
Don't stay up all night and watch trash Netflix.
Whatever you got to do. Exactly. Like if you're up all night, then that's why you don't have the energy in the morning. This is very simple stuff, guys.
Yeah. They're decisions. They're
first grade, SpongeBob.
First grade. You're hungover. You don't have energy.
Yeah. It's a simple equation.
You want to move?
No, keep going.
Number 6, attitude. I mean, we've kind of already...
Yeah, I think everything kind of revolves around that. Yeah, it plugs into everything.
I think this was a stretch for a 10 list.
Yeah. Just like a stretch for 27 or whatever.
That was so bad.
That thing was terrible. I mean, at least this has value.
If you want to listen to that list, that's the list. That's the name of the episode. And then same list, different day.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 2-day list to get through all 27 that we repeated ourselves. It was really just 5 points. But
yeah, exactly.
We were basically just shoveling the list off the lawn, guys.
Yeah.
Number 7, passion.
That's good.
Hey,
you don't need passion, but it's helpful.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, passion makes all the difference, especially in a lot of different careers. If you can have passion behind it, that's what separates you. I don't care if you can be as a musician for me, or actually a lot of people get sold on trash or people who have mediocre to low skill. But if they sing or they do something with a lot of passion, people will gobble that right up.
Yeah,
and it's like your technical skill is trash. You're not very good, but you poured everything you had into it. People will respond.
Yeah.
I've also seen I agree with what Tyler's saying. I do 100%.
People
agree.
do. They gobble crap up.
There's also the other way around, where it's all like, I've seen engineers who are really good at what they do. They have a great attitude, but once they walk out the door, that's it. They have no passion for what they do as a project. But it's like, they'll pump out great software. They have a great attitude. They have a great work ethic. But once they're done, they're done. Like, it's like, don't talk to me about software outside of
Like,
work.
I just want to build model boats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. And I would say, if what you're doing is not a passion of yours, you probably don't want to get promoted in it.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you have the passion, then you know you want to be there, and that's where the places that you will excel the most at. If you don't want to be there, then you should probably be putting your effort. Don't just quit, but put your effort towards being somewhere you want to be. And that's my take on that.
Well, specifically for engineers, I know a lot of engineers in the industry who are like, oh, I'm happy with like an associate engineer position, like a mid-tier engineer position. I get paid $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, and then I just coast. It's like, and then I go home and I do what I actually want to do because this pays for the things that I like to do. But it's not enough of a passion to go and quit and do that full time.
I mean, that's kind of like the whole podcast thing. It's like, take it on chin, do what you want to do in your spare time until you can do what you do in your spare time as a full-time thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and there's the Ducks. We'll finish this list when we come back. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back. We're going to rip the last 3 points of the list and really talk about practical life application. Anybody got anything before we get back in?
No,
rip
sounds
'em.
legit.
All right, we'll go. So just recapping real quick everything on the list. Number 1, things that take zero talent, but to prepare you for the place that you can't be prepared for. Number 1 is being on time. 2, having a good work ethic. Number 3, putting in effort. Number 4, having good body language. Number 5, bringing some good energy, having energy. Don't stay up all night before you have to come to work. I don't care how good you are. You're not good if you can't do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. For real. I mean, actually, you know what a lot of people do too that set themselves up for failure when it comes to energy? Like not eat.
Oh, yeah.
And getting all like wonky and whacked out because all you had was like a bagel yesterday.
I think it's more of like a blessing. Like, I know you have the same issue of like when we get like really hangry.
Oh, dude, I get super hangry.
But like if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't eat it.
Eat?
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
me
I would.
neither.
It wouldn't trigger. But like,
Well, I love to eat, but
yeah, I love eating too. But like, we get busy. You know, we can't lie. You get busy, and there are days where there are days. Not the whole day, but there'll be like long portions where I forget to eat because I'm just so involved in what I'm doing.
Oh, last night I was practicing for the soundtrack. I'll just drop that there right there. Our first formal practice is tomorrow, so I was practicing for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I made sure. Oh, it's actually today.
Yeah,
It's today, not tomorrow. Oh, good.
Good. I'm ready.
Well, I was thinking about this, like talking about the podcast. So
Yeah, fair enough.
Yesterday, I was like, oh, I'm gonna say it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made sure that I ate before. I waited for all the food and everything to be done because I knew once I got into the zone, I wasn't gonna stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think it's a blessing that the hangry thing because it makes me think of eating so that I can like you said plan my meals before I get into something that might take too much energy.
Intravenous coffee drip.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sure.
All right, next, energy. Number 6, having a good attitude. It's always good to deal with somebody with a good attitude. Yes. I mean, that's the difference between having a miserable situation and having a good situation. Yeah. Being able to make a good solution to a project rather than like, oh, this sucks, I hate this, we're never getting out of here. Versus like, no, we'll make it, we'll get there. Even if we get setbacks, we'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Just having a good working attitude is so good, not only for yourself but also for your coworkers. If if one person's depressed and not pulling their whole share, then you're gonna slow the whole roll down because everybody's gonna be like, well, if Jeff's not working, then I'm not gonna work either. So it's all like, then the whole project stops. So if everybody's just like, listen, let's get this done, the project ends faster. Everybody gets to go home.
Yeah, for real. I feel that too. That's so hard when you're in a group. If you put like, if you want to put passion or put all your effort into it, which the next point is passion anyway. Yeah. But if you're pouring out your passion and nobody else has any passion into it, it's like, nope, checked out. Yep. No passion.
Yeah.
You don't deserve my passion.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's a common feeling. Number 8. Oh, now we're moving into the spot where we haven't been yet. So number 8, being coachable and teachable.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the yes.
Just yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because like if you have somebody who you're working with and they're like, I know how to do this thing, and it's like, you just did it wrong 4 times, and it's like, I know how to do this thing. It's like, obviously you don't, so I'm never going to interact with you again on this type of project.
You remember Stuart from Mad TV? Look what I can do.
Look what I can do. Yeah.
We'll have a select group of audience who will know about that.
Oh, I hope we have more than a select.
Look what I can do. But anyways, being teachable, we talked about it too. It's like, okay, well, you're getting promoted to a place that you don't deserve. Yep. You're getting grace to be able to walk in a place that you didn't open that door.
Yep.
It's like the least you can do is learn that skill. I mean, that's how we opened it. It was like any skill can be learned. It's having the rest of these things when you get there so you can be successful.
It's your pride. Just move your pride out of the way. Just understand that it's okay. Even in my profession today, I can admit that I am pretty good at what I do. I still keep on learning new things. I actively try to learn things. It blows my mind how somebody can just like learn something up to a point and then shut the door of learning. Like it's like, why would you want to cap yourself? You cap yourself off when you stop learning, and that's all I got to say to that.
It's legit. It's like, oh, I can do this thing good enough. I'm only going to do it good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get excellent.
Yeah, and it's like, man, why stop short? Get it.
All right, number 9. We added a little bit to this one. It was doing extra. So do extra instead of being extra.
Yeah, that's that. Yo, I that should be on a shirt. This is a really important one, I think, and it might get overlooked by a lot of people, but I think that this is probably one of the most important ones besides being on time. This would be number 2 for me.
Well, we've had podcasts like that. Oh, sorry. You can continue.
No, yeah. The whole concept of under promise, over deliver. Like just this past weekend, I had a project for one of my clients. He wanted a set amount of songs, but his budget didn't meet the what it would take to do that. So I told him how many I would do for that project to get it done. I finished out those projects, and I had a little bit extra time, And so what did I do? I did the extra song, no charge. And that just taking that extra step and then sending it to him, you know how grateful he was? Because he was going to have to get that song done eventually. And I was just like, you know what? I have the extra time now. I'm going to do it. But it's the same concept anywhere else. Do a little bit more than you, be the first person in, the last person out. That's the little bit extra. And when you do stuff like that, man, people remember that. And they are very grateful for that. And they'll come back to you when they need something. And it'll be just, you'll even if you don't do everything perfect, it's the little things that you do that are extra that are just like, man, this person really does try.
Or even having the good attitude is the extra.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this person actually did it and they made me feel comfortable. Actually, I just got a haircut this past Friday with the new kid. I mean, I had my hair cut by the same guy for, I don't know, 5-6 years or something. I don't even know how long. He was like for years.
Yeah.
And then he ended up leaving that barbershop and went somewhere else. And I went there too. And I was like, this atmosphere, this environment, and even the kid, I guess he just started changing. And I was like, this isn't as nice as it used to be.
You're not the same.
Yeah. It's well, even so, I mean, he wasn't always the best to talk with.
Yeah.
But I got my hair cut at the same barber that he was at before by a different kid who I've seen around the block. He's been there since pretty much day one too, since I went over there.
Yeah.
And started a little bit of conversation. We talked the whole time. It was easy to talk to him. He went a little extra. He went a little bit above and beyond. He did some extra trimming up on my face, no charge. And it was that was the most enjoyable experience about that. I was like, I just made a friend.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. No.
It's also important to realize, because I was going to change to a little bit to this concept, but I've had people who have said to me, I only get paid minimum wage, so I'm going to do the minimum amount of work.
Well, that's you, not my job.
And it's all like, well, then you're just going to have a minimum wage job forever.
You're gonna stay there for a long time.
Yeah,
like,
because if I'm
until
an
you
employ-
change that attitude.
Absolutely, because if I'm an employer and I got a person who does the minimum amount of work, I'm just going to continue to pay them the minimum amount of money that I possibly can.
Yeah.
We have an employee. I got a dude who's been working for us for like, I mean, as close to a day one as we possibly have, almost. Like, I mean, he's probably the second longest employee that we've had, like, consistently. Dude, he's had opportunities to come up in the company and do everything. He's like, nah, I'm happy, I'm fine, I'm good. It's like, really, bro?
Yeah.
Like really, you want to be paid like $17.50 for the rest of your life? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah. That's fine.
Pays the bills.
Like, okay. I mean, if those are your priorities, and you struggle, you drive a junk car.
Yeah,
It's like,
keep
that's
keeps
Van.
my vices in check.
Yeah, that's Van.
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
That's Van down by the river. Like, I guess there's nothing wrong with that if that's
No.
what you want to do, but don't complain about it. I guess.
Absolutely. And just to play the other side of that too, there are situations like I'm a big fan of, like, taking the extra step, but there are moments where, like, you can go too far with it, and there are opportunities where, like, you're working for a company and not every company is very honest, and then there might be situations where you might get promoted into places, but the compensation doesn't go up with it, or it doesn't go up enough with it.
Yeah, that's not fair.
That is something to be very aware of. We're sitting here preaching do extra, but, like, you can't take on entire roles. There was points in my career where I took on more responsibility than I was paid for, and it's fine at first, but it does really weigh down on you quickly, and you really start to have, like, this really bad. It creates a bad atmosphere in your company.
Yeah, I mean, to do extra and do one song here and there versus do 5 extra songs for every client that you have
Without getting paid.
Yeah, that's toxic.
Yeah, very toxic.
Well, it depends. It depends on your company, the size of your company, and everything like that. There are certain times your manager can't overpay you what the company is. So, like, if you're understaffed and you're doing more work, again, I don't see the point in having loyalty to massive corporations. If I work for a massive corporation, I'm just an employee to
a number.
You're just a number to the massive corporation. Your manager might know your name, but the district manager doesn't.
Yeah.
So, like, having loyalty to a larger corporation, if you work at, like, let's just use an example. You work at Home Depot and you get paid X amount of dollars, and Lowe's offers you a job at a better rate, I don't see a problem with upward mobility.
Absolutely.
That's not
Absolutely.
That's not what we're saying. Work extra. Show that you're, like, a good person so that your manager sees that, so that you can get a better recommendation to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Just don't get taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
And this last one, which is kind of like, I guess it's relevant-ish, but, like, for a position that you can't be prepared for, be prepared.
Perfect.
That's number yeah, right? That's number 10. The only example I could really think of when it's talking about, like, being prepared for something that you're not prepared, like, it's like going to school and having a pencil and a notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that guy who's always like, hey, let me borrow a pencil. Then the next day, hey, let me borrow a pencil.
Yeah.
Hey, let me borrow a pencil. I was that guy for a long time in school, I tell you what. And I hated being that guy. 'Cause I was like, oh, crap, I'm so
never
irresponsible
ready.
and
Yeah.
unprepared all the time.
Yeah.
But I never changed my lifestyle.
Another.
That's fair.
Perfect.
Let me copy your homework.
Another thing about being prepared is, I think, learn from your managers. Watch what they do. And when they're out of the way and when they move up and now there's an open position, you've already watched them do their job for so long that you can kind of step into their role and just not perfect it, but at least have an idea of, like, what they did with their time.
What to do or not to do.
Yeah,
you can watch your manager and be like, oh, when I become manager, I will not be like you.
Yeah, you can learn so much from a bad manager.
Yep.
It's sad to say, but it's true. But yeah, so I would say that would be one way to prepare too. Is just kind of like help your manager out and do what you can there, and the more you do for the higher up from you, and then the more you learn.
I think one of the smartest things is learning from other people's mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so smart to be able to observe on somebody and not have to make the mistake yourself.
Public service announcement. Thank you for everybody who has messed up in front of me. I have never repeated your mistake.
Yeah.
So I hope.
Fair enough. No, it's true. It's important to realize that we're all learning, and it's if you don't have to go through something, if you don't have to bang your head against a wall, you want to mitigate the number of times that you hit your head. Like that's really what it boils down to. And if you watch someone continually bang their head against a wall, the very least that you can do is learn to, hey, not emulate those things. You know, it's It seems so simple, but we do it all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you take that chicken story and bring it into different contexts. Like, Mom, why do you cut the legs off the chicken, or why do you cut the sides off the chicken? It's like for no reason, and you can copy somebody who's doing something wrong over and over and over and over again, and be like, oh, this is fine because they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was that? It was like the oven.
The oven was too small.
Yeah, the oven was too small. Yeah.
Side note for managers, if you see an employee messing up consistently, maybe tell them how to do it correctly.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, like instead of just like getting mad at the situation and walking away,
Or doing it yourself. At that,
Yeah.
sometimes that I mean,
Yeah,
and
that's
but
usually what
that's a
happens.
real inclination, and I find that in my job sometimes. Like, I'll avoid letting work go to somebody else sometimes, just for the fact of I don't have to have the aggravation because I'll have to do it again eventually.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, no, I'll just do it. But unfortunately, that's a tough spot, and there are certain jobs that I had, like my Friday night job before I left. Like, I covertly, I hope my boss actually catches this one day. I covertly was training somebody else as I was working. I trained multiple people at that job, like free of cost, I guess.
Yeah.
It just I just did it for the fact of everybody will benefit.
Yeah.
And before I left, Jose, shout out Jose, I made sure Jose had the opportunity to be able to count freight, load his own trucks, be like, hey, listen, I'll cover it for you right now. I will bust my butt on these other things, and I'll show you, like, you can shadow me, but now do that on your own, and I'll do something else so that progress is still being made as you take as long as you need to be able to figure that out. And it's like, that was a big thing, to be able to put somebody into that position and say, hey, it's a safe place right now. I'll double check your work, but you do it on your own, and then come to me if you have a problem.
That's what leadership is supposed to be.
Empowering somebody else to be able to own it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference when you're creating leaders too. It's you allow them to have that investment into it, so that they have a piece and a stake, rather than like, oh, just do what I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
And just that. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff today. I'm glad we hit that list. A lot of good stuff on that list. And the Ducks are here.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. If you like the show, please rate us on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us out. If you feel like supporting us in a more direct way, you can check out our Patreon page linked in the description of this video. One last thing. Please let your friends know about the podcast. If you like the show, we're sure they'll like it too. If you'd like to reach out to us, send us an email at thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. We appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you next time. Okay, now let's have a little bit more fun with that, Benji. I don't like to have fun, Eric.